Good. World Cup is an excellent exercise to test whether you understand subsidiary journals and how the postings from subsidiary journals are done into the general ledger. The following totals appear in the accounting records of World Cup distributors. The entity is registered for VAT and the VAT rate is 15%. The entity uses the periodic inventory system, but is included in all relevant amounts except where otherwise stated. Now they give me the totals as per the cash book receipts journal, cash sales, debtors control, VAT and bank, the cash book payments journal, creditors, debtors, purchases, VAT, bank, the sales returns journal. They tell you that 60% was applicable on 60% was credit sales transactions. The general ledger, the debtors control account had a balance at the beginning of the month of 11,000, the creditors control 140,000, bank had an overdraft balance of 23,000 and inventory 210,000. Inventory according to the inventory account at the end of the year 220,000. Then they give you the following transactions that occurred on 28 February, that which has not yet been recorded. The bank statement indicated the following: interest received 125 Rand, bank charges 330 Rand, and then there was an RD check for insufficient funds of 550 Rand, and that must have been from a debtor. Cash sales 12,100 and receipts issued to debtors 22,000. Then they give you some information about the reconciliation between the debtors account in the general ledger and the debtors ledger, and the following were noted. There was a credit note that was incorrect. Debtors control balances here: debit balance 12,500 and credit balance 11,500. Now that corresponds with the ledger here 11,000. So 12,000 less that will balance back then to the 11,000 over there. The total of the debtors list was cast incorrectly with 500 Rand too little. Credit sales according to the debtors journal amounted to 88,000 Rand. The total of the debtors list before any corrections amounted to 49,920 at 28 February. Let's just check that 88,000. Oh, they don't give you here the debtors journal, so that is where we're going to get the information that was posted from the debtors journal is credit sales. That comes from the debtors journal. That amounted to 88,000 Rand. Then the total of the debtors list before any corrections amounted to 49,920 at 28 February. The total of the debtors list before any corrections, so any of these things. An amount of 8,000 Rand received from Lemma was accidentally posted to Lowe's account. Credit invoice issued to Silo was accidentally debited twice. You are required to reconcile the debtors ledger and the debtors control account by preparing the debtors control account and the debtors list as at 28 February. Now, what is the date here? Whatever. Only at 28 February, they don't give a year. Okay. Great stuff. So let's start now with what do they want from us. Let's start with the debtors control account and the opening balances in my debtors control account. That is the logical place to start. And then underneath that, we're going to have the debtors list, and we will start with the totals of the debtors list. Also a logical place to start. So let's draw a T account for our debtors control account, and our opening balance would either be their balance 11,000 Rand, or here I have actually split the two, because remember what does IFRS tells us to do. It says whenever there is credit balances for financial statement purposes only, I have to transfer that credit balance there to creditors. But that doesn't take away the fact that our net balance at the beginning of the month was 11,000 Rand. 12,500 1,500. Yeah. Debtors control account balances 12,500 debit, 1,500 credit. Good. Now they tell us credit sales amount, according to the debtors journal, amounted to 88,000 rand. Now we're there above. They gave us these amounts coming from the debtors journal. Now be very careful. What do they give us? They don't give us the debtors column total. They give us the credit sales total. Now credit sales is a VAT exclusive amount. So therefore the amount that was posted to my debtors account was not 88,000 rand. The amount that was posted to my debtors control account would have been 88,000 multiplied by 1.15. 88,000 multiplied by 1.15, which will include the VAT. So credit sales for the month coming from the debtors journal, 101,200. Great. Now let's have a look here from the top. What entries can be passed in our debtors control account? Cash sales. That has got nothing to do with debtors. Debtors control account, 40,000 rand. Now remember, what do we post in the debtors control column in the cash book receipts journal? Think back about that exercise that we've done on journals and allowances. There you've seen very clearly that the amount that we post in the debtors column will be the full invoice amount. So therefore, the full invoice amount will then be posted against the credit side from the debtors control account. That is 40,000 rand. But over and above that 40,000 rand that actually comes out of our bank account because it's our cash book receipts journal, we also had an amount. Following transactions occurred on 28 February. It has not yet been recorded. We also have issued receipts to our debtors of 22,000 rand. So the total amount that we've received from debtors was that 22,000 rand plus that 40,000 rand, which gives us in a total of 62,000 rand. Good. Bank cash book payments journal. There was 1,000 rand in the cash book payments journal. When will we insert something in the cash book payments journal that affects debtors? It is only when there's things like maybe mistakes or RD checks. So that 1,000 rand, that must be, it was a credit against the bank, it's a payment, so it must be a debit against the debtors control account. And then here, the transactions on the 28th that has not yet been recorded, there was also an RD check that we haven't posted as yet of 550 rand. So on the debit side of our debtors control account, let's do it. On our debtors control account, there would have been bank 1,000 plus the 550, which gives us 1,550 rand. Cash sales has got nothing to do with debtors. Here's the general ledger. Sales returns. Sales returns. Total sales returns, and this comes from the sales returns journal, and it was the sales column or the sales returns column. And in total it was 9,565, but only 60% of that related to credit transactions. So only 60% of that amount of 9,565 it's got to do with creditors, and that amount is 5,739. But now be careful, the sales column is a VAT exclusive column. So when we post that entry into our debtors control account, we actually have to include the VAT. So let's just park this one here. That was a total of 5,739. And 5,739 times 1.15 will give me the amount inclusive of that, and that equals 6,600 rand. So there's our sales, 9515 multiplied by 1.15 multiplied by 60%. And that gives us then the 6,600 sales returns that we have on that side. Good. Now let's have a look what further information we have. We have now posted that, we've posted that, we've posted that. We've already posted that. Inventory's got nothing to do with debtors. The following transactions, we have posted that. Cash sales got nothing, and we've posted that. Good, let's look at the reconciling items. Credit note 55 for 400 Rand was incorrectly entered 3 times on the debit side of A. Basson's account. So the debtors control account was right. But instead of entering this credit note on the credit side of Basson's account, because it's a credit note, they've incorrectly entered it 3 times on the debit side of his account. So how are we going to rectify that? That means we have to credit it 4 times on the credit side of his account. So his individual account is going to reduce by 1,600 Rand. 400 times 4. 3 times is only going to take out the mistake. 4 times is going to rectify the mistake. So it's also going to pass the credit note then, in other words. The debtors control account was correct. This was only in his individual account. His individual account added up to that 49,920. So that total of 49,920 will reduce now with 1,600 Rand. Let's just see for that was A. Basson. So you can say here, A. Basson's account, that would have been credited then with 1,600 Rand. Then they also tell us that when we've done, the total of the debtors list was cast incorrectly with 500 Rand too little. So you could either start it with the correct amount there, or you can just now add the 500 Rand to that amount there. So you can either have rectified that amount straight away, or you could have put in the 49,920 and then just add the costing area of 500 Rand. An amount of 8,000 Rand received from Lemma was accidentally posted to Lowe's account. Now that doesn't have any impact on the total, but it has an impact on the individual debtors accounts. So Lemma's account will reduce with 8,000 and Lowe's account will increase with 8,000 Rand. And then the last entry that took place was a credit invoice 1234 issued to Silo for 3670 was accidentally debited twice against his account. It was an invoice, it should have been debited, but not 2 times, only once. So I'm going to take out the 3670, and when I take it out, my debtors list is going to reduce with 3670. If we're going to calculate the new balance on the debtors list, it is 45,150. If we're going to balance off our debtors control account, you will see that our outstanding balance there is also 45,150. So that means that our debtors control account reconciles back to our debtors list.